What's going on, everyone? Josh here with 4Level Games. Nintendo is a gift that keeps on giving this year, and while 2020 has been a bit of a mess, I'm very glad to see that Nintendo has some good news for us gamers. Nintendo in the past 5 days has dropped 2 pretty big announcements for us to salivate over, so let's get into it. In case you haven't heard, the year 2020 is the 35th anniversary of the Super Mario Bros. Franchise. And last Thursday, September 3rd, Nintendo announced their plans for the 35th anniversary and how they're going to celebrate it. They had a lot of great things that they talked about in the announcement, but that's a discussion for another time, and I will have another video coming out soon about that. But the announcement that they dropped today, Tuesday, September 8th, has got me really excited. The presentation starts off with Eiji Aonuma coming out and thanking everyone who has and is still playing Breath of the Wild. He then goes on to tell us that Breath of the Wild 2 is still under heavy development, and that they want to give us the same experience that we had when we played the first Breath of the Wild game, and that they are trying to make it just as vast and expansive as the first one was. Aonuma-san then tells us that Nintendo has prepared a different way for us to explore Hyrule in all its wondrous glory. Then the reveal happened.
The history of the royal family of Hyrule is also the history of Calamity Ganon, a primal evil that has endured over the ages.
I think you are now ready to hear what happened.
Nintendo and Koei Tecmo have teamed up once again to bring us yet another Hyrule Warriors game. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and this time it's set in the Breath of the Wild universe. For anyone who doesn't know, Hyrule Warriors is a mashup of Dynasty Warrior gameplay set in the Legend of Zelda universe. This made for some fun and exciting gameplay, which to me was great to see Zelda in this way, but at the same time, it really didn't interest me. It seemed boring, repetitive, and even though I didn't play in its entirety, the story seemed vague and not very fleshed out. It just seemed like they took the Zelda assets and made a Warriors game with it without giving it much thought. But Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity interests me immensely. Age of Calamity takes place 100 years before Breath of the Wild, which is when the Great Calamity happened. And in Breath of the Wild, we do get to see bits and pieces of what went on during that time via Link's flashbacks, but we never get to see all of the events that happened in their entirety. This game is going to change all of that. We are finally going to experience the great battles that took place in Hyrule Field. We get to see the Guardians turning against the people that created them. We get to see the Divine Beasts coming to life and see them in all that jaw-dropping glory, the sheer awesome power which they use to try and take down Calamity Ganon. This is a game that I want to play like right now, and luckily we don't have to wait long because it's releasing on November 20th of 2020, just a few short months away. The thing that stood out to me the most is what appears to be all the playable characters. It's looking like we're going to be able to play as Daruk, Urbosa, Revali, Mipha, as well as Link. The one character I'm not too sure about is Zelda, but I'm sure we'll be able to play as her too. To see the roles that these characters all play during the Great Calamity is going to be amazing. Being able to control each character, see their point of view, the actions in which they took in order to stop the calamity from happening is definitely going to give us some closure as to what happened during that time. Even though it led to their untimely demise, it's going to be nice to actually experience what happened. Another thing that stood out to me was seeing the Warriors gameplay set to the assets of Breath of the Wild. The game looks absolutely stunning. I mean, look at it, it's gorgeous. Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite Zelda games, mostly because of the gameplay, but the visuals are what really made it pop. It was a beautifully crafted environment that we got to explore and take in all the breathtaking vistas that Hyrule had to offer. It was fun just to get out there and run around the world. The gameplay also seems to be taken directly from Breath of the Wild as well. So not only are we going to get a game that looks great, we are getting a game that also controls fantastic as well. Now, while I'm sure Age of Calamity will be a much more linear experience, and we are not going to be running all over the place, the beauty and control of the world is still there, and I can't wait to experience it all over again in what I'm sure will be a masterpiece of a game. Something else I'm most excited about with this game is that I'm hoping that they explore the backstories of the champions and their divine beasts. Like, how did they come to pilot these mammoth pieces of Sheikah technology? How did Daruk, Urbosa, Revali, and Mipha meet their demise? What happened to Link, and why was he put in what was basically a cryogenic state only to be woken up 100 years later? And one of the bigger questions, how is Princess Zelda still alive? How old is she? These are some of the questions that I'm hoping that will be answered, and I'm sure a lot of you out there are too. But I guess we will just have to wait and see. What interests you most about the game? Sound off in the comment section below. Let's have a discussion about it. Knowing that Koei Tecmo was working closely with the Zelda team on this title is a sigh of relief. Just knowing that this game will hold up to the quality that Nintendo is known for while being developed by a third party in order to deliver an amazing experience that the player base will actually appreciate is a great feeling. I can't wait to get my hands on this game and experience all the hard work that they had put into it during these trying times. 2020 may be a bit of a mess, but Nintendo is still crushing it. If you like this video, hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. Also be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that way you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Be sure to check out all the links in the description, and until next time guys, I'm Joshua for Love of Games, signing out. Have a great day.